This is Amit. He achieved financial freedom at 46 and retired with a corpus of 10 crore rupees. And you've probably seen him before. But this is not just another video about his FIRE calculation. We broke down the career progression, frameworks, and decisions that helped him build this corpus. From his bold takes on investing,
I would say that the default choice for everyone should be no direct stock. If somebody is looking for one formula which you can copy and you can become successful, ऐसा कभी नहीं होने वाला. This is a very common myth that people think about safety as debt.
to now what's changed after retiring early. This conversation covers it all. Let's get into it. Hi Amit, welcome to the Power Up Money podcast. I'm very excited to host you today.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm also very excited for our conversation.
So Amit, of course, you've created this humongous corpus of 10 crore rupees, which is something that we'll get to. But before we get into that, I just want to understand more about your background. So where were you born? Where did you grow up? What were the early years of your life like? If you could tell us that.
By roots, I'm from UP, but grew up in Rajasthan entire childhood. Engineering, I did it from Rajasthan.
Okay.
Then after that, I moved to Hyderabad. And my first job was in Hyderabad. 2001, I started with a company called Hexagon Technology.
So Amit, you started your career in 2001, and when was the last time that you worked as a corporate employee?
Specifically, October 2024
Okay.
was the time when I decided to quit my corporate job.
And what did that journey look like? What kind of course, you mentioned the company that you started with. Which company did you work at last, and what were your salary progression like over the years?
So I'll tell you my journey. My journey has been like a pretty much classic software engineer progression journey. So since 2001, in Integraph or Hexagon, I started. In 2004, from Hyderabad, I moved to another company in Pune where I spent my next 19 years. That is called Dassault Systems. It's a French multinational. Again, one of the biggest names in the engineering software domain.
Yeah.
So when I started at that time, I guess in Hexagon Technology, it was in hand, I used to get close to around 16,000 rupees. Then I moved to Pune for Dassault System. At that time, I think my overall package was close to around 5.5 lakh or something like that. Then I remained there for 19 years in Dassault System. Every
Okay.
3-4 years, I was taking up some different roles within the same organization. So 19 years was like a very interesting journey in that organization.
Yeah, but 19 years at
Yeah,
a
yeah.
single organization, that's wonderful.
And you wouldn't imagine, many times my dad used to ask me, कोई और job नहीं मिल रही है क्या? मतलब, so
Got it.
most of the people around me used to think that कि
Yeah.
maybe
Are
कुछ
you
और-
stuck here?
you're stuck here. मतलब ना, if you find a company which invests in your growth and you enjoy growing along with the company,
Right.
this is the best recipe.
It's very
So-
interesting you said that, because of course, like especially in the early years of your career, it is encouraged that you switch a little more frequently, so that, because of course when you switch, you get like bigger salary bumps.
Correct.
Do you feel like working in the same organization held you back a little, and was that a trade-off that you made?
I don't think so. Personally, for myself, I don't think so. Because of multiple reasons. See, how do you get benefit from an organization? Salary is just one part of it, right? You can't really. There are a lot of things which happen, and I tell you, I'm reaping the benefit of that even till today.
Okay.
Which spending 19 years in that organization, it's a great value add to me. Because see, what happens is when you are in a domain or a specific set of solutions, you become, I would say, global expert. Right now, my level of expertise, because first of all, I switched multiple roles, and so I knew R&D till customer. I saw multiple products. I remained with the domain in a very deeper sense. So at this point of time, I am considered as one of the very few experts in this domain, right? If you just look at it purely in a very numerical sense, maybe possible. Maybe had I been switching job, I would have earned maybe 30% extra and all those things. But not necessarily everything can be evaluated purely by those numbers. There is a lot of things which happens. Like in another way, on the monetary side also, most of the companies, they have a lot of things in terms of long service bonuses, certain bonus plans, certain stock option plans for people who stay for a longer duration.
Right.
So unless you stay, you would never know, right? So my salary kept on growing. So
and what was
consistently.
your last on salary?
When I left, I was close to around, I think, easily 4 to 5 lakhs post tax. I was kind of getting that at that point of time. Then when I saw this domain, and of course this domain is a very engineering centric domain, then I thought that why not experience something which is absolutely new age. So then I moved into ad tech domain, which is like a e-commerce, which has nothing to do with my past, but of course as a strategy mindset and all those things, I worked there for 1.5 years, and at that time of course I could able to earn decently well. I could get close to around 6 lakhs or something post tax. So yeah.
Got it. But one criticism that people get, like, with high salary is that, of course, it's easy for you to make a corpus so big, right? What would you say to that?
I wasn't earning that much throughout my career, right? I wish this salary would have had, I would have been earning that salary since the start of my career, but aisa nahi tha. At the beginning, I was like, as I was telling, just like any other person, 15,000 a month, उसमें से आधा तो आपके जनरल खर्चों में निकल जाएगा. Hardly आप 4-5 हजार से ज़्यादा तो बचा नहीं सकते हो तो. And this remained for a very long time. It's not that I was high earner at the beginning of my career. I became high earner almost at the end of my career. So this salary, what you're talking about, is something which is almost in the fag end of my career. Had I sustained, of course, I could have continued earning this kind of amount for maybe one more decade also. But because I took certain decisions before in terms of investing, I didn't have to earn that much later on. So many people don't understand that this curve is also a compounder curve. एक साल में आप नहीं बना सकते. And there are multiple factors also associated with that. You live a different lifestyle. When you have I would say reach to a certain age as well as certain position, your lifestyle also changes. So your expense also changes according to that. But I would say that I always had a very conscious approach. Because for me, I learned very early in my career that investing is a very critical part, and sooner I do it, better it is going to be for the long term.
How did you realize that? What was the trigger point for you to understand that investing is important?
So I used to read a lot. I used to read a lot. Whenever I used to find any simulator, so I got to know about this fundamental of compounding very early. Because I love maths, was tinkering around on many of those kind of things, and then I realized, at that time, you wouldn't imagine the compounding calculators, the kind of available calculators which are, they were not there. आज से 15 साल पहले आपको website पे मैं खुद formula लगा करके मैं करता था, and genuinely I'm telling you, when I did my own SIP calculator, built my own SIP calculator maybe 15 years before, I was surprised. मैंने कहा seriously, ये ऐसा हो सकता है? And I cross-validated multiple times. ChatGPT भी नहीं था कि आप cross-validation वहाँ से करा लोगे तो आपको खुद ही maths. And then I realized नहीं, ये correct है. This curve is correct. If I consistently keep on doing it in early part of the career, later on it is going to give me a substantial benefit.
So when did you make your first investment, Amit, and what was that like?
So I started investing very early. When you say word as an investment, तो बहुत पहले से शुरू कर दिया.
Once you started earning?
I started earning since then only. I think पहला PF account खोल करके contribution तो मैंने I think 2002 में ही कर लिया था.
So how did you learn about different asset classes, and when did you start investing in them? Like 2002 you started investing in PF. When did stocks, mutual funds, gold, all these asset classes come into your journey?
Slowly. To 2006-07 onwards, I started playing with mutual funds. Then started learning a little bit about where do they invest, what mutual fund does. Started understanding the dynamics of it. And I realized, why can't I invest indirectly on those stocks if I really have a strong conviction towards it? So I would say that maybe 2008-09 onwards, I started investing in direct stocks. And then gold, I realized very late. Importance of gold. I used to think about it that gold is a outdated investment tool. Of course, again, I didn't have that understanding about economics. I'm not an economics student, so I didn't understand that gold has a different value altogether compared to rest of the asset classes.
Right.
So whenever panic comes, people go for gold.
The safe haven.
The safe haven, and something which is there for the last 3,000 years is not going to die just like that. So that I didn't realize. So that happened. I would say that, in all honesty, I would say that started in 2024 when I quit my job.
Okay.
At that time, I did all the simulations, started reading a lot of research papers.
Okay.
And that is where, so there are some very beautiful research papers on simulations, different asset classes ke combinations. So I used to read all of those research papers, and then I realized ki nahi, without gold, to ye galat hai. So that's where I started moving some of the money from equity to gold.
I find that very interesting about you, Amit, that, you know, there are, of course, so many philosophies and rules out there, thumb rules, you know, you should do this, you should do that. But I've seen that you've adapted a lot according to your personality.
Correct.
And that is, I think, the right approach to do it, right?
So this is something which I would say you have touched upon a very important part of it. And that's why I try to teach people personal finance, because personal finance is a very personal thing. There is no one formula, and if somebody is looking for one formula which you can copy and you can become successful, aisa kabhi nahi hone wala. You have to find your own formula, because your personal financial situations, your liabilities, your responsibilities, your temperament, your study pattern, your interest areas, everything is different.
Do you see people follow a lot of, like, you know, formulas and philosophies blindly?
What
are some top things that, you know, you would say people just follow?
मतलब अभी तो मेरा YouTube चैनल के जब मैं कमेंट्स देखता हूँ तो बहुत fascinating कमेंट मिलते हैं. People just blindly say that, sir, small cap has given X% return. I'm planning to put 100% into small cap. Koi 30, 20, 20, 20, 30, 40, some kind of a formula.
50, 30, 20.
50, 30, 20. Well, there are hundreds of formulas which are available. And people will say that I'm investing under that formula.
Your equity exposure should be like 100 minus your age.
I should have this much of emergency fund. I say that, honestly, there is no formula which is... Many people will be disappointed listening to that, but I would say that honestly there is no formula. You have to derive your own formula, and it's not that difficult. Of course, take any of the formula, whatever.
Take inspiration from the existing.
If you find, like, somebody says that ki haan, main Amit ke thought process se I relate. Matlab my journey, my thought temperament and all of that. So maybe whatever that he's doing, uske aaspaas rehna mere liye theek hai. But not necessarily कि everybody can follow it and everybody should blindly follow it.
Right.
थोड़ा सा सोच करके, nuances पढ़ के, फिर उसके accordingly अपना formula बनाना चाहिए हर चीज का, starting from your equity, debt, gold allocation, starting from your emergency fund, what should be your retirement corpus. Again, everybody asks this question कि what should be the retirement corpus. It cannot be my retirement corpus, cannot be your retirement corpus. My lifestyle is different, your lifestyle is different. Somebody can retire with 3 CR also. Somebody may not be able to retire with 20 CR also.
Right.
So,
but if you had to give some guiding principle, of course, like, you know, there are multiple factors like you said, but if someone were to derive their corpus, their FIRE number, what would be your guiding principle to them?
So I would say that 3% withdrawal rule is something which I generally find it safe.
Okay.
Whatever simulations, and I'm a simulation guy. I worked in a simulation industry, so I still do simulations. So when I simulated 3% withdrawal, it means, if you reverse it that way, so your annual expenses ka 33 times. I considered as a safe one.
Okay.
So basically, at the time of retiring, whenever you are thinking of retiring, at that time, whatever your expenses are, if you multiply it by 33, that is a safe figure.
Okay.
Considering a lot of other facts, like again, there is no one thing. Considering that there is a portion of equity, gold, debt into it, because if everything is debt, then 33x will not be sufficient, right? Because debt is not even inflation को भी beat नहीं कर रहा है ना.
So Amit, for illustration purposes, if you could take your corpus's example only and share the assumptions that you took to arrive at that fire number, and tell the audience how can they go about factoring in their expenses, the ultimate number that they will need.
Correct. So for me, I considered my monthly expense anywhere from 2.5 lakh to 3 lakh. Extrapolate it to annual expense. So it means like anywhere from 24 lakhs annual expense से लेकर के 36 lakh के annual expense के हिसाब से.
Sure.
That range is something that I have considered. Inflation I have considered anywhere from 6 to 7%.
Okay.
That's the inflation range. And growth I have considered 10%.
Okay.
And very conservatively, even if I was getting more, but I consider it from this point onward, the growth will be 10%.
Got it. So inflation 6 to 7%, growth about 10%.
Correct.
Your annual expenses between 24 to 36 lakhs.
Correct.
And you said that the annual expenses should be multiplied by 33.
Correct.
So that becomes about 9 crores?
9 to 10 crores.
9 to 10
9 to
crores.
10
And which is
So
your...
9 is the figure where I arrived at with multiple set of simulation. 9 is the figure where I felt that it's absolutely safe figure.
Okay.
Then I wanted to add some buffer on top of it.
Right.
I have a daughter. I wanted to take care of her needs also going further. So I decided that I will add a CR buffer on top of it.
Okay.
And that's where I arrived at that 10
The
CR
10
is the figure
corpus.
where I will feel comfortable after that. Yeah, this seems to be good.
So what did your asset allocation look like before you fired, and how did it change now?
So when I fired, 85% I was in equity. Rest was all debt, except maybe 1 or 2% was in gold,
Okay.
SGBs. Apart from that, everything was like these two, right? Then I realized it's kind of very, very skewed, and it's not the way I can operate going further. So then after that, I started taking conscious decision into it that first of all, gold is a very necessary part of the asset that one should have. Since then, I've been increasing my gold allocation. Some amount that I moved from debt, some amount that I moved from equity. And at this point of time now, through various stages and all that, now it's 8% in gold.
Okay.
So I increased my gold allocation over the period of time in the last 1.5 years or close to that. Then another asset class that I started adding is international equity.
Okay.
Because I realized that's again my blindsidedness that when I say equity, why should I really restrict myself only to Indian equity? Indian equity is just 4% of the global equity. If I enjoy learning about the companies, I can learn global
About
companies
global
also,
companies
right?
as well.
I can
Sure.
understand global economics also. So why this was again I would say my own bottleneck. कि जब भी मैं equity सोचता था, I used to think about Indian equity, but I said that why only 4% of the world, right?
Right.
Think about little bit differently. So I started increasing that also. Over the period of time, I've been increasing. I think at this point of time, it has reached to close to around 5%
Okay.
of my portfolio. And my equity portfolio has gone down from 85 to 76%, around 75-76%,
Okay.
depending on the day I'm looking at it.
Got it. So before fire, it was 85% equity, about 13% debt, and maybe 2% gold.
Correct.
And today that has changed to 76% equity, 5% international equity, about 8% gold, and the remaining is debt.
Correct. Debt.
Okay. What would you say, Amit, is the biggest mistake you made in the 20 to 25 years that you were investing, which you have, let's say, corrected now?
I would say my biggest mistake has been lack of diversification.
Okay.
I never understood. I understood rest of the things. Ek to first of all, because I loved equity, so remained there. So that is one thing which I would say a fundamental mistake. Because see, at this point of time, if you understand, even if I understand the importance of diversification, importance of gold and international equity and all of that, I cannot just simply sell a major portion of my portfolio one fine day and move into some other asset class, right?
So
Tax
with the bigger
implication,
corpus, changing the allocation within
very
your portfolio
difficult.
becomes difficult.
People don't understand it, but once you are into this problem, then you will realize, oh my god. See, mutual fund को तो फर्क नहीं पड़ता asset allocation change करने में, because उनको tax नहीं देना पड़ता. अंदर का जो भी
Right.
एलोकेशन चेंज करना है, राइट? बट एज अ इंडिविजुअल इन्वेस्टर, इफ आई एम मूविंग फ्रॉम इक्विटी टू गोल्ड, मुझे फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल इक्विटी पे टैक्स देना
आप
पड़ेगा,
कुछ भी सेल करेंगे, whatever you reinvest,
And
of course
then
you'll have to.
टाइमिंग प्रॉब्लम आता है. मतलब इट्स नॉट जस्ट द टैक्स. I don't know if I
Right.
sell equity at that particular point of time. Is it a good time to come out of equity? That's
Right.
why my progression has been slow. Slowly, 1% के movement करते करते I am doing my asset allocation properly.
Okay.
So I wish I was aware of that.
So your advice to everyone would be कि day one से you should think about
Absolutely.
diversification.
When people think about safety, this is a very common myth that people think about safety as debt. Right? सेफ्टी करना है, डेट बढ़ा दो. नहीं, मेरे हिसाब से सेफ्टी करना है, डाइवर्सिफाई कर दो. बिकॉज सी, इट्स वेरी रेयर दैट ऑल द एसेट क्लासेस विल फॉल एट द सेम टाइम. ऐसा कभी नहीं होता.
राइट.
तो आपको इवन इफ फिक्स रिटर्न चाहिए, उसका भी इंपॉर्टेंस है, बट आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट. बट अगर आपको अपने पोर्टफोलियो को एक स्टेडी रिटर्न देना है, तो मिक्स मल्टीपल पोर्टफोलियो, मल्टीपल एसेट क्लासेस इनटू इट, राइट?
No, great. I'd also love to understand what is the split of your equity investments in mutual funds and direct equity.
For me, currently at this point of time, I would say that close to around 50-50 कह सकते हैं.
अच्छा.
और maybe थोड़ा सा slightly direct equity heavy ही है.
Right.
But these are the two ways.
So out of the 76% equity portfolio that you have today,
Correct.
you would say half of it is direct
Is
equity
a
and
direct-
half of it is mutual
Mutual
funds.
funds. Correct.
And how do you approach your stock investments, Amit? Can you tell us, like, a few things that you've learned over the years? How should one approach direct equities?
I would say that the default choice for everyone should be no direct stock.
Okay.
Even if I'm 50%, I still say that. The second thing is that you should question yourself why it should be stocks. What is the reason of having stocks? For me, the reason was not that it is going to give me compounders. Trust me, it was not the reason. I loved it. I loved it because जब मैंने देखा कि यार ये कंपनी इसमें ये पोटेंशियल है, so how can I be part of their success journey? Stock is a part of it, right? Unless and until you have a reason. If you are looking for a compounder कि मैं बहुत सारा पैसा बनाऊंगा, बहुत सारा growth करूंगा, that is the only reason, then I would say that let's not get confused. Don't get into stocks.
Okay.
Because stocks is a specialist work, right? You have mutual fund managers doing it for like 25 years with a research team, day in, day out. You are doing it part-time over a weekend, watching 2-3 videos. And if we feel somewhere that by that spending 2 hours in a week or 2 hours in a month, I will be able to beat a mutual fund manager, galat
Not
hai,
happening.
It's not happening. Matlab, might as well, if you are able to beat it, better become a fund manager, right? So it's very difficult.
Right.
It's very difficult. It takes a lot of time and the chances of failure is very high.
Right.
But if you have a genuinely strong interest, like if you have a forte of understanding businesses, understanding the dynamics, the how world is moving and what is it, something which can become important. If you have that knack of it, you love studying socio-political subjects, then it's great. Because then your knowledge can be of use in selecting stocks and right trends and all those things.
So if your objective is just to make returns when you're
Absolutely.
investing in stocks,
फिर तो कोई point ही नहीं
तो
है.
नहीं करना
तो
चाहिए.
नहीं करना चाहिए.
If you genuinely
enjoy that process, then करना चाहिए. So
Got it.
that's how I would
otherwise
say
your
that.
recommendation would be
Mutual
that
funds.
equity में exposure चाहिए तो
Mutual
invest
fund.
in mutual
There
funds.
is nothing better than that. They are experts. They are specialists. Because आज के मैं इतने सालों के एक्सपीरियंस के बाद जब मैं अपना स्टॉक और म्यूचुअल फंड पोर्टफोलियो का कंपैरिजन करता हूँ रिटर्न्स का, एज अ ओवरऑल पोर्टफोलियो, इट्स नॉट दैट स्टॉक हैज गिवन मी phenomenal amount of return compared to my mutual fund portfolio. Both of them have done well. Maybe stock slightly here and there extra. But if you ask me, had I not been enjoying that process, that effort was not worth. आपने इतना एफर्ट डाला उसको सीखने में, बट क्या ही हुआ, 1% डेल्टा कमा करके भी what did you achieve? So might as well give it to specialists. So I
पर
always,
आपके लिए payoff was the
मेरे लिए payoff
fun
अलग
of
था.
it also.
The fun of it also, finding joy in some, because I feel part of that company when I invest. मतलब मेरा थोड़ा
Right.
सोच ऐसा हो जाता है कि
Okay.
अब तो मैं इस कंपनी का पार्ट ओनर हूँ.
Right.
So that's what makes
it.
me excited about it. So and yeah, it helps me build my business sense.
Since your recommendation is also that, you know, people should focus more on mutual funds in equity, let's talk about mutual funds a little more. So how do you select mutual funds, Amit? What are the things that a person should look at when they are evaluating different mutual funds? Because of course, you know, if you compare it to a few years ago, today there are so many
So
mutual
many
fund
mutual
schemes, so many categories that have come up. The noise has increased so much.
Correct.
What would be your guiding principle to investors
Correct.
on how to pick the right funds?
Seen ups and downs.
Right.
That's a very important part. A fund which has seen ups and downs. That's why I always say that a fund which is not there for a very long time, there is no point looking at it, because the fund and the fund manager haven't tested their strategy in all the cycles. अभी जो fund पिछले 15 साल से है, उसने 2 डाउनटर्न देखे हैं, बुल मार्केट देखा है. अगर उसने उस सब में सर्वाइव करके अच्छा रिटर्न दिया है, that's one of the simplest ways to do it. So long term return is a very good strategy of understanding. Fund manager is a very critical aspect of it. People don't understand that part. I am able to build my corpus purely because of the reason I have that intelligence, right? Nothing else apart from that. कि मुझे समझ में आ रहा था. Same is the fund manager also. If the fund manager is good, he will be able to run a good fund. So understand who the fund manager is, what is his philosophy, check their videos, be part of their annual call, investor calls. Ki what are they talking about? They publish a lot of documents, read those documents. It's not so that difficult to understand a fund's philosophy. बहुत आसान है.
Right.
इतनी मुश्किल नहीं होती है. तो ये चीजें आपको समझना बहुत जरूरी है. फंड rather than I would say that people spend a lot of time just purely looking at returns and last 1 year में इतना दिया, 2 साल में इतना दिया. I don't think it's a great way to look at it.
So these are the two major things that you would say. One is, has the fund house seen a lot of ups and downs?
Correct.
So basically a long-term track record. And secondly, the fund manager
and
whether
third,
you align with their philosophy.
Right. And third is a very important aspect that one should look at is the fund philosophy. And fund philosophy can be understood. Like just to give you a simple example, a fund house which is in a same category, which is having a companies of a basket of 30 companies only, compared to a fund which is having a basket of 100 companies. What does it mean? It's a very simple thing ना, जो हम लोग अभी थोड़ी देर बाद बात कर रहे थे. They are trying to keep their eggs into a smaller basket. So of course it will be high volatile. अभी expecting that to be not so volatile is a wrong philosophy.
Correct.
And at the same time expecting a phenomenal return by 100 company wala mutual fund is again a wrong strategy. So now you think about it, what do you want? Are you really looking at a very, I'm okay कि गिरेगा तो बहुत ज़्यादा गिरेगा, I'm okay with that volatility, तो आप बहुत concentrated bet वाला ले सकते हो.
Okay.
Right? So this is the way by which you can understand the fund philosophy. There are aspects which are related to turnover ratio. कि how many stocks are they selling and buying?
Right.
Portfolio कितना बदलते हैं?
Right.
अगर बहुत बदलते हैं इसका मतलब ये है कि शॉर्ट टर्म सोच ज्यादा है. सो अगेन वही वाली चीज है कि आर यू दैट और आर यू अ लॉन्ग टर्म गाय. So then think about the mutual funds which are having a very low turnover ratio and still giving great return. What does it say? That fund manager is long-term thinker. Because see, every fund manager gets into pressure of giving returns. But if the fund manager hasn't given up on or given up in that kind of a situation and still remained true to his philosophy, great. Then you can be aligned with that. So ये चीजें, 3 चीजें जो हैं, AMC, fund manager and overall fund strategy is a very important aspect to look at.
Can we also get into the specifics of your mutual fund portfolio? What is the allocation to large cap, mid cap, small cap?
So I have predominantly, I would say, my mutual fund has been mid cap heavy.
Okay.
And large cap and small cap are used as a, I would say, buffer zones. So because I strongly believe or I believed in that particular phase, and still I would say to some extent, I would say mid cap is a category where a lot of potential is held, because of the reason that these are the companies which are trying to become large cap. They have proven their records, so it means they are not going to go bust.
Right.
So that's why I would say close to around 50% must be mid cap,
Okay.
and then 20% maybe large cap, and 30% can be small cap,
Okay.
something like that. That's a kind of a my
Yeah.
strategy.
And what kind of categories should one take exposure in when it comes to mutual funds? Of course, you said that keep it simple.
Correct.
Don't.
एकदम simple.
हाँ, but क्या है वो categories?
So पहला तो मैं कह रहा हूँ कि क्या नहीं करना है वो बहुत जरूरी है.
Okay.
और नहीं करने में जितने भी फैंसी नेम्स होते हैं ना, अपॉर्चुनिटी, अल्फा, वैल्यू, बीटा, गामा, मतलब यू विल सी द नेम्स इंक्रीजिंग डे बाय डे, राइट? लॉट ऑफ आइडेंटिफायर्स स्टार्ट गेटिंग एडेड इनटू इट. स्टे अवे फ्रॉम दैट.
Okay.
बिकॉज़ जितना आप नैरो बकेट बनाते जाओगे, फंड मैनेजर के पास भी फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी नहीं है और वॉलेटिलिटी उतनी ज्यादा बढ़ती जाती है.
Okay.
So I'm a super big fan of flexi cap as a category. Because of the reason ki why I am going to a mutual fund. I am going to a mutual fund for a fund manager and a fund house. And which category gives the biggest flexibility to that? Flexi cap.
Flexi cap.
Right? आपने फंड मैनेजर को बोल दिया जैसे करना है तू कर, मैं आई रियली वांट टू बिलीव यू एंड फॉलो यू.
Right.
So simply do that. I would say that if there is one fund that you can keep, you don't want to add anything, just add flexi cap. That's it. Don't do anything else. That is also not a bad strategy. It means that you are completely relying on a mutual fund house as and a fund manager's philosophy. But why still some amount of addition of other things? Because flexi cap can never understand that what is your life cycle. Are you a 50-year-old or a 25-year-old? So if they will have a generic strategy, right?
Right.
So in order to make that generic strategy a little bit more specific, you would add small cap and mid cap to create your own basket.
Got it.
That's how you should do.
So small cap, mid cap, large cap, flexi cap.
That's it.
And any opinion on how many funds should one have in their portfolio?
See, in my opinion, every category, maximum 2 funds. Check the overlap, lesser overlap. That's it. Good diversification. It gives you some amount of safety net also. If I am saying that broadly, flexi cap, mid cap and small cap is a great combination. तो total 6 fund में आपका सारा काम हो जाएगा.
Got it. Okay. I'd also love to understand, Amit, of course, now that you have fired, how has your relationship with money changed? How has that equation changed in your head, that how do you approach your finances now?
So it's a fundamental, very, very important point. I have to remind myself what brought me here will not take me further. What brought me here is a very concentrated asset allocation, high risky bets and all of that. Now I cannot do it.
Okay.
If I continue do it from this point onwards, I'm really putting myself into a great risk. I could able to take significant amount of risk purely because I was actively earning,
right,
and I had a long period in front of me. So agar kuch galat hoga bhi, to I had time to course correct. But now I cannot take that kind of a chances. So from a growth, I moved into preservance mindset.
Okay.
I have to preserve it.
Right.
And that needs a totally different kind of strategy. Then of course, risk appetite. The risk appetite changes significantly at that point of time. If there was a company where I could able to see a great potential, I could go and invest a significant amount of money in that investment, thinking about it ki I have a strong conviction and I'm ready to take that risk also because I have long horizon.
Right.
Now if I'm waiting for 15 years, my majority of the lifespan would be gone waiting for that. So I cannot really do it that way.
Right.
So that is one thing. Another thing is that at that particular point of time, I was not really looking at my portfolio as a income generator. Now it's very important because, that my portfolio generates some income in one way or the other.
Right.
Right. So because I cannot really take that call कि कल मुझे स्कूल फी देनी है तो मैं जाके 5 शेयर इसके बेचूंगा. You cannot take that call. It's very emotionally taxing to take these kind of calls. So you have to really change your mindset in such a way कि withdrawal के लिए मैं पहले से ही preparation करके रखूंगा, rather than कि मैं run time पे ये decisions लेने लगूंगा.
So also Amit, at what point did you decide that FIRE is something that you want to take seriously? And what was your motivation to FIRE?
So पहले तो first of all, my definition of FIRE is not financial independence, retire early.
Okay.
I am still not retired. Retiring is I would say that one should never retire. Till the end of your life, why not? ये रिटायरमेंट तो इंडस्ट्रियल एज का कंसेप्ट है ना, पहले तो कोई रिटायर नहीं होता था. But the main important thing is that not most of us chose our career based on our choices. We chose career based on what was rewarding, right? So maybe we have something else that we wanted to do, which and financial independence gives you that freedom to do whatever that you want to do. And it can be anything, whatever that you choose to be. So for me, FIRE is financial independence, reinvent excitement. That's my definition. So I'm reinventing my excitement, and now I have a luxury or a freedom to explore things.
Right.
So it wasn't that I was frustrated with my job. Even till last day, my organization never understood why I'm quitting. क्या जरूरत क्या थी, मतलब ठीक तो है, मतलब why are you quitting, continue working on it. But for me it was to some extent I would say that calling कि नहीं अभी एक कुछ अलग चीज करनी है. I want to feel satisfied at the end of it, कि and this particular discussion is also towards that, where I genuinely feel कि जब हम इतनी मेहनत करते हैं in terms of earning the money, can I really convey some part of my learning so that उस अर्निंग के पीछे की मेहनत को राइट रिवॉर्ड मिलता रहे.
So what would be your advice to someone who is on their journey to FIRE now?
बहुत सारी एडवाइसेस होंगी. पहला तो सबसे पहले मैं कहूंगा कि फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल डिफाइन योर डेफिनेशन ऑफ फायर. इट शुड नॉट बी अ पुश. मेनी पीपल आई सी दैट आई एम फ्रस्ट्रेटेड विद माई जॉब, आई वांट टू टेक फायर. नहीं, वो दैट इज अ वेरी रॉन्ग, बिकॉज जॉब छोड़ने के 15 दिन बाद जॉब तो नहीं है. देन व्हाट विल कीप यू मोटिवेटेड, राइट? वो जो रीजन था, वो तो रीजन तो 15 दिन बाद ही खत्म हो गया. तो देन यू विल फील अभी तो रीजन ही नहीं है. व्हाई एम आई डूइंग दिस, राइट? So you should have a reason for that. One, it's a very, very important thing, that a reason for it. I would say mentally prepared with lot of aspects related to it. Because it's not so, socially it is not so acceptable. The people will not really look at that aspect in a very positive fashion, right? Because they look at it, शायद काम नहीं मिल रहा था, शायद skill नहीं थे, whatever. People will think about it from all the different ways. So you have to be prepared from that aspect, that what is it that is going to be your way of accepting this reality and putting it in front of the world. So emotional readiness is very, very important. And of course your relationship with money changes. So you should be ready with that new equation with the money, like as I was telling, perseverance.
Right.
So these are some of the very key aspects everybody should be careful about.
So I think we covered on a lot of, like, useful and great aspects. So thank you so much for sharing,
my pleasure,
your
my pleasure.
knowledge and your time with us. And,
absolutely, absolutely my pleasure. And any way by which people can understand something from my journey, it can be, even if it is 5% useful, 1% useful, I would say that I have achieved what I really wanted to achieve.
No, that's great. I mean, I feel really motivated right now to, like, look at my investments differently. So thank you so much for sharing.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Thank you.